DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by Electra Voice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders. It's time for Tuesday Night Live Chat with Brian S. Red and John Young. Hey, good evening and welcome to Tuesday Night with Brian and John. Tonight, we're going to go through our favorite recipes for birthday cake.
I do the Dairy Queen ice cream cakes. Just make it easy.
It's pretty much what I do too. So I guess this show is going to be pretty dang short. Oh, yeah.
So I hope that we don't look like we're doing like a Shaw Brothers Kung Fu movie on Saturday mornings.
I see that I'm way behind. Oh my goodness gracious! I might have to.
John, you want to fight? Fight me.
Yes, I will. I will fight you in the village that you came from. Oh yes. I'm gonna have to unplug the mic or the camera here. So.
Okay. Well, I'll just entertain people while you do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut that off and then replug.
So yeah, that was just one of those things I noticed on the show that John just did with Ben, because I thought, wow, theater with Ben Stowe. This is awesome.
It was pretty awesome, actually.
There you go. That looks better.
Yeah, it's weird how that. I don't understand why that happens, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So
a little bit of lag is okay, but a lot of lag is like, woo.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they're fixed. Yeah,
when I have a thought that's way behind and such. So tonight, gang, what we want to talk about, we're going to talk a little bit about uplighting and selling that uplighting to your events, because a lot of us, you've seen some of the uplighting things, the battery powered this, the battery powered that, and you're like, should I make that plunge if you haven't done that already? And of course, a lot of people got to check out some of the APLAB uplighting at the DJNTV conference in the chill room. So, Brian, I really want to kind of dig into that a little bit of specifically when you have, most of us have a calendar that is filled to a level already with events. And let's say I don't have the uplighting. I want to take it from that perspective. I want to be able to start to convey that I have this. What are some ways when you have had people, you have those cans, if you would want to be selling those to people, what's your best methodology for that?
I honestly, I haven't done it yet. Mm-hmm. I haven't sold that Fresnel design that you're talking about. I don't know if we have a picture for reference of that on deck or not, but
I don't know. I don't have anything. I was thinking about it earlier.
It's an interesting effect, to say the least. And what I can do, actually, what if I played the video?
Yeah, if you've got it.
Did a screen share. Give me just a second, guys. Sorry about this. Live TV.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little weird sometimes. So let me find the video on YouTube, and I'll play it and do a screen share so you guys can see what we're talking about for effects.
So while you're doing that, I'm just going to sit here and read a little bit here.
You read something and enjoy whatever you're reading. Okay, we're going to skip the commercial with Weekend selling his whatever thing he's selling. Okay, so now I'm going to go to share, and I'm going to share my screen, and you guys should be able to see this. Can you see it?
Oh, there we go. Yep. Oh, the screen's coming up. There we go.
There's Tony. You can see the Fresnel lenses on the wall if you look up. We're looking at Evolve 30Ms right now. But when I turn around, you're going to be able to see that effect. And it's kind of like a V shape that's coming up.
Yeah.
From those cans. You can use multiple lenses to make that V shape happen. To make things happen, one is a Fresnel that makes the V shape. Another one's more of a flood lens. And then there's also a 10-degree lens, which really gives you more of that uplighting effect. Mm-hmm. Now, if I could stop looking at this Evolve 30 for a minute, we must be talking about it.
Yeah, it looks
like
the
video.
There we are.
There you go. Now you can put them in. Oh Christ! Come on, enough about the Evolve 30. Let's look at these cans. Okay,
There we are.
you can see right there. I've got them kind of close together. They're in what's called music mode, which is kind of like a sound active, but the difference between music mode and sound active is that in music mode, you're not only picking up bass frequencies, you're picking up highs and mids, and it's random.
Mm-hmm.
So the lights are just kind of doing all kinds of stuff depending on whatever's happening. And that's kind of a design that you can do. And I know that there are people who do sell this effect, as a package or whatever, or as an upsell to their clients. I just haven't done it yet. But it is a very cool, unique effect. You don't have to make them chase in music mode. You can make them static. You can make them bright. You can make them fade in and out. You can do whatever you'd like. You can adjust the brightness as well. But that's the effect we're talking about right there. And it's a pretty cool effect.
It is a very cool effect.
Very impressed by it.
So if I want to be able to offer that,
Pastor Jay.
There's Jay.
Yeah, hi Jay. See, we didn't think Jay was going to be on the show tonight, and there he is.
And look at there, we almost, and he still was going to have a few words of advice for us.
And he was going to show us Christian's phone number. You can call Pulse now direct.
That's what you guys
anyway, I'll turn off the stop. I'll do the stop share, but there, that's what was going on.
So we have that capability, and that is a really cool look of what you set up on that wall. Now the question becomes: is that I'm somebody who I want to buy 8 of those cans. I want to be able to offer that and sell that. And really, the 2 areas in which I was seeing, and this is where I wanted to get your advice or thoughts on this, is I can say if I'm going to meet with a couple, I could maybe take those cans with me if I go to their house or something, and because they're battery operated, I can literally set them up and on the wall, and I can control them with my, the little remote, the little clicker, and do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Is a video or a photo similar to what you had there, where you have that little clip and you can actually show it. Which one do you think is going to be the most effective in helping them to visualize?
I think that photos speak 1,000 words, or videos, even on your phone, if you have those. If you can take a little phone video and have it accessible when you're doing a client meeting, say, hey, look at this. What do you think of that? That's cool. You can do that with any kind of lighting, gobos, or this, or just an uplighting effect, or whatever you'd like. I think that's a great selling tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I've used it. And instead of trying to explain to somebody, well, I can do this thing where it does this and this, let me show you something. What do you think of that? We got to have it.
That's pretty cool.
All right, great. or it's not really for us. I mean, but you'll get a response either way. I think that's a lot easier than trying to bring lights into a demonstration.
And now those were on the wall there. Those were all the cans, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which again, battery operated things that a person could take. The pictures are great, and there's times when I have been with meeting with a client and such, and I knew that we were going to be talking uplighting, and I actually brought fixtures to demonstrate not specifically the overall effect, because it wasn't the venue, but it was the color matching.
Right.
And when you have something like the can, now is that something that I know with my cell phone, if I'm doing the Bluetooth things from Showbay, I can kind of dial the color in, but it's not exactly going to be the perfect, because I believe they're only doing RGB in that particular, or maybe a quad color LED. How are the cans for being able to do the color mixing and such with that?
Well, you've got macros, and there's several of them. Or alternately, if you really wanted to be able to do it like a color picker, there's a W app that allows you to do that. But I found that most of the colors in the macro are pretty good. I can show you. I got one here. I didn't know we were going to talk about this tonight, folks, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You do have one right there. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I got one right here. And I had no idea this is where we're going to go tonight. But let me just bring the lights down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can see. Now, right now it's fading through colors. And what I'll do is I'll knock that off. And I'm doing this all with the remote control. And this is not a sponsored ape broadcast,
exactly.
By the way. I didn't know you were doing this tonight.
Yeah, and for those of you out there, if you're a Showbay fan, Showbay has they've got different battery powered lights. Really, the key that with what the discussion is that battery powered lights are things you can take with you to demonstrate.
Yeah, this is small enough. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean,
You throw 3 of those into a little knapsack, and you go.
it's like an energy drink.
Yeah,
It's
you
really
can go
small.
meet with the clients, set them up in a corner of the room, and kind of give them an idea. And that's really what I'm at.
Right. So let me just try to give you an idea here of what we're looking at. So that would be like a white.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go, and it doesn't show very good in the camera.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like
Yeah, it's
red.
not.
It's more like a dark amber. That's more of an amber. That is a lime green. That is a darker green. And it's much more dynamic
In person. Yep, I've done a lot of videos, and yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, if you guys could see what I see.
Right. Yeah, it just doesn't look the same. That's actually pink. That's a really hot pink right there.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's like a peach. It's a nice color. We were using that one a lot.
So they do have some nice built-in colors and such.
I was doing, they're macros, so you can just kind of flick through those and get different things. And usually there's something in the macro that people like. You don't have to go, full on, W app with the color picker to show people a color they might like.
Mm-hmm. And I think being able to page through the macros, and again, on any of the uplights, American DJ has some battery powered uplights. Mm-hmm. They just came out with some new ones. Everybody has them, but taking those and to be able to have them and to be flipping through the colors as opposed to, going through that color picker. While I can be more accurate in getting exactly what they want, if I'm going through the one particular time that I did the battery powered ones. We were going through, and you could just see as they were going through the colors is that, oh, my wedding's blue. But yet when I was flipping through, all of a sudden, I think it would hit I think it hit like a purple. And all of a sudden, her eyes lit up like, ooh.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we would have, we would have just, in essence, ordered it without her seeing, she would have been like, oh, yeah, my wedding colors are blue, so let's go with the royal, as close to royal blue as you can get, and that will be consistent. Turned out that the purple was the color. Once the party started, that's what she wanted to go to because that gave it a different kind of a look. And in her words, it made it look like she had an awesome tan. So if that's what she wants, that's what we're going to do. That's
what we'll give her. Now, just a quick little detour here. I noticed in the chat room earlier that Robin had asked if the coins from Ape do the music mode thing as well. The answer is yes. And the coin is this guy right here, and it's a USB powered light. I had these in there too, but I wasn't really giving a lot of attention to them, but they were there. And what the coin is, it's magnetic. It's got a little magnet on the back. It's essentially the same thing as far as light output goes and lens options goes as the can,
just without the battery.
Yeah. This is a can without a built-in battery. It's all it is. And I think these map out for like $69 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can do it. These do work with music mode works with everything Ape that I'm aware of. And I got the cans, the coins, the bars, and the max, or the sticks and the maxis.
And you had pretty much a variety of that all set up in the chill room down there, so people got to check them out.
Yeah, we tried to have all 4. And then what I was able to do when we were doing the demos is I was able to group the lights together. So I group all the maxis, I group all the sticks,
nice,
all the cans, and all of the coins. And so whatever anybody wanted to specifically look at, I just simply selected groups 1 through 4. And turn them on. So what I could also do, I could press and hold the button and select all groups, make them all do something, or I could go individual groups if I wanted to. So that was a cool tool to have. It was actually fun to do. It was a lot of work, but it was fun to do that in the chill room.
And I even think if for somebody who's, say, if you guys were getting into the uplighting and you had some of the lights, maybe because you can buy again, we're talking the Ape Lab stuff, but it could be any of the companies. Chauvet has you can buy the 4-pack of them or a 6-pack, one of the two. Yeah, you can. So a person could get some of these, and even if you are setting up some of your videos, you've set those lighting up in your house to demonstrate.
Yeah.
And they've been able to really give an idea of what those lights can do. And I think that sometimes we get too caught up in I've got to have them at a venue and I've got to be able to show them there. When sometimes, but sometimes you can set things up to show the capability and have that picture that you can kind of describe what's going on, and people can see that. And it's like, oh yeah, I think that'd be kind of a cool thing to add to our services.
I think one of the coolest pictures that I ever did with the cans with the Fresnel lens that you like, the one that you're gravitating towards because you saw it at the show, and you see it live. It's just a very different experience than seeing it on video, I think. But there was one in particular picture, and I'll try to pull it and share it. I actually did on the door of the shop where the Mustangs are.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll try to share it with you if I can
that.
find it. I've got a lot of photos in this particular album. And now, embarrassingly enough, just not seeing it pop up here. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, it's a very cool still shot of those lights doing neat stuff. And of course, I cannot find it at the moment. That just figures. That totally figures. I do have some other fun pictures I can share with you, though, that I took last week. Let's see if I can find those for you.
And
I don't see the garage door picture, but it's a very good visual image as to what the this is maybe PG stuff. I did a photo shoot with a photographer friend of mine and some models.
Sure.
And we did some stuff. Here's a girl with some ape sticks. We lit her up. And that's actually a lime green, but it actually worked really well with her skin. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, typically green makes a person look really sick and pasty looking.
Yeah, so it worked very well with the settings on the camera. And what's funny about this picture is, and this whole shoot, is that ape lights are not flicker-free fixtures.
Okay.
But it didn't matter with this. We weren't taking video, and it all worked out with the still shots we were doing. So here's a little project that I want to do here as part of the photo shoot. And I named this project. Would you like to know what I named it?
Oh, boy. Yes.
Casting couch.
Casting couch.
You see the W back there?
Uh-huh.
It's like the Weinstein logo. I thought that would be funny.
That would be, yeah.
Probably over the top, but, I don't have a filter.
Boom, chicka, wow, wow there going on. Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool?
So now how was that illuminated?
Fiber optics. And then I actually have cans all over the place, behind her, in front of her. There are sticks down here lighting her up. We've got her lit up with all this ape stuff. There's like one 80J light way down here. You can see that's backlighting her red, but all these other colors, you can see this is the stick right here.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we've got sticks in front of her, and we've got cans over here. We've got cans behind her, so we're just blowing her up all and there I am having an epic, like a lightsaber battle.
Yes, that was pretty intense.
Yeah, it was very intense, man. I mean, and she was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Her name is Morgan, and she's super sweet. But anyway, yeah, I thought I'd share that with you while we were talking about the stuff. That's the project I'm working on right now, and I'll be back to work on that, I think, on Friday. I'll also be working on it on Monday, and then we're going to do like a proper shoot,
right,
with several models. We're bringing in 2 models on Friday and 2 models on Monday, different models, one of which I've worked with before. She's a real sweet kid. But we're going to have some fun with some effects and just try some things with not only ape, but some of the EDJ stuff and anything else that I happen to have laying around that I think might be fun to, do a set with. Because we've got a big house to work with. It's empty. We can do whatever we want.
Nice.
And I like those art projects sometimes. They're fun. It gives you ideas as to what you can do with these things, at events.
For sure. I mean, even that image of the casting couch, after all the creepiness is over, that is a great demonstration of how that light could, somebody might be able to use a couch like that for a photo booth as an example, and how that light helps to grab the attention, and make that kind of stand out as what's going on over there? There's something I can see. Right. So it definitely is a cool,
I mean, very, very tongue-in-cheek thing that I.
Yeah. They're having fun with your hashtag casting couch.
With my hashtags, yes. But that couch is going to be used I believe on Friday for the test shoots.
For the next shoot.
Yeah, and I've got some ideas. I've got some, because I'm in charge of some of the set design stuff. The photographer's in charge. We just kind of come together and try to come up with fun things.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had lights down here I'm just playing around with to see what they would do and what we might be able to do with them to make it interesting with the subjects we had to work with and the space we had to work with. And we've got a variety of different spaces to work with. I've got to bring in some T-bars and trussing and things to get lights up in the air.
Sure.
And I'm a little off topic here, folks, but yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. It's fun art stuff to do and kind of on our downtime.
Well, and it's one of those opportunities to use some of the pieces of gear that we have for a variety of different ways. And sometimes you can make some money off that. Sometimes you're just building relationships. I mean, the gear.
And really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, I've gotten work from doing these shoots, and sometimes it's from weird places. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's one of the models who's getting married or something.
Yeah. Yep.
And I do their wedding, or a photographer. Oh, I'm doing weddings too. You should come in. It happens. Mm-hmm. It's just good, healthy networking, and it's also a really good opportunity to just play with this stuff and see what you could do with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Be creative and have fun.
And those photos, of course, definitely look really good. So the last part of this, because I didn't want to make this this one wasn't going to be the whole hour tonight.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's good. We're good. I know this is an area in which you absolutely hate, but we need to touch the pricing of it. So we're going to add up, and we're going to continue with the Ape Labs just because we're somewhat familiar with that. I'm looking right now online. I can buy a 12-pack, the tour pack of those cans for about $1,800, give or take, somewhere in that ballpark. So let's say I wanted to have 12 of them that I would be able to sell to my clients. $1,800 investment. What are you thinking? Recommending a price point to offer that to my clients. What would you be?
Well, there's a couple ways you can approach this. You can approach it as, okay, I'm going to sell this to my clients, and when they buy it, I'm going to charge them X amount of money to provide the service. Mm-hmm. But I think a more clever way to do this is to incorporate that pricing into your general services. So what I mean by that is, so 1,800, all right, and I'm terrible at math.
Sure.
But if we divide 1,800 by 20, what do we come up with? Is it 80?
$90.
90.
Mm-hmm.
$90. So if we increased our pricing $90 per event, after 20 events, you'd own them. Mm-hmm. And then the 20 events after that, you'd make $1,800 on them.
Right.
You could do it like that. You don't have to particularly put like this heavy duty price tag on the service, but having said that, I mean, with an effect like that and being able to show that effect to somebody, perhaps you could boost your prices $200 and just say, hey, look, this is what I do. Here's an example of some lighting design that I'd love to do at your event. I could do it behind your head table. I could do it on an accent wall, and it's included, mm-hmm. but you actually build it into the price. You could do it a la carte too. So if you wanted to charge $200 for it or whatever, I'm sure you could. And right now, not everybody can do it. So it's a bit of a novelty.
A bit, yeah. In the chat room, Hunter just mentions that Hunter charges about $1,000 for 16 hex units, element hex units, which are the wireless ones from American DJ, and rents them from someone else, a friend who owns them. So that way, there isn't the investment on his part, but he still is for charging and such. He's making a healthy profit because once he pays his buddy the rent for him, he's doing quite well.
Well, you can rent these lights too. You can rent the tour packs.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can do it via mail order.
Oh, nice.
So if you're not sure if this is what you want to do or not, I think you can rent a tour pack. I don't know what the price is. It's like $180 or something like that. You can rent it, try it. Or if there's a situation where you're like, you know what, I can get $500 to do this effect, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it again. To make this $1,800 investment, you can rent for like whatever it is. Like I said, $185 or whatever. ship to you, use them, ship them back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super familiar with that program, but it's on the website. If you go there, it'll give you a purchase price and it'll give you a rent price.
Let's see. Eric here is talking about the hex bars from the Wi-Fi hex bars.
Yeah, very familiar with the AJ
yeah.
Ultra, or was it Element hex bars?
The
Wi-Fi.
Yep, about doing about $50 a fixture, it looks like, and then up to 16 fixtures.
Well, some people are going to get that. Some people aren't, and I understand that. Not every market's going to be able to support this.
Mm-hmm.
What I've been doing as a standard thing at all of my events is I'm bringing the tour pack of the maxis. That's my light show. And what I'm doing is I'm using uplighting techniques around the dance floor.
Okay.
So during dinner, for instance, if it's a wedding reception, I can do an amber-ish color, or I can do whatever their wedding color happens, to be. If it's blue, if it's hot pink, or whatever the color is, I can make that color happen during the dinner. And then when it comes time for dancing, I can use the same fixtures in the same position to do fades or chases, or put them in music mode and let them just trip out. And I can adjust the speeds, brightnesses, and colors ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of giving everybody uplighting. I'm not necessarily doing perimeter room uplighting,
right?
But they're getting it. If I had a client that told me, "Hey, we want perimeter room uplighting," yeah, we're going to have to charge for that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a nice little upsell. But
yeah,
and I've done that also. Where I've done my dance floor area and my stage area by me, because I wanted to have a different look. I wanted to change the look of that end of the room to make it look like it's a fun party going on.
You want to kind of draw people to that end of the room too.
Exactly. Yeah, and that worked out really quite well. And then I have the ability to adjust those lights when I need to have more light on the dance floor for garter, bouquet, announcements, what have you. It all works out.
You can go white on those too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you need to bring the lights up, you can just go white on them, and that's fine. You can totally do that. I like the look myself because, well, not only the look, but the function, simply because we can't really use fog anymore.
Yeah.
So aerial effects aren't really something that is going to be real attractive to most mobile DJs, like beam effects and things.
Mm-hmm.
You can still do projection effects. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. But what's the real reaction you're getting from them? Light shows that we do as DJs are somehow supposed to enhance the experience, or I think, in my philosophy, is kind of put the audience into this almost surreal type environment. It's a little out of this world, and their guard's a little down.
Mm-hmm.
They're not feeling quite as vulnerable. They can go on the dance floor and make a fool of themselves, because what I've got going on here isn't really reality. It's otherworldly. It's science fiction. This isn't real. You can come out here.
Psychedelic, man.
Yeah. It is, and that's kind of the point of light shows, as far as I'm concerned, is to, enhance the experience in that regard, and let people's guard. Ben Stowe talks about this stuff in some of his DVDs, and he's right. I mean, he got me thinking about him. Like, hey, he's absolutely right. But yeah, I mean, that's just how I do. The other thing that I don't like about some of the older lighting techniques, and even some lighting that people are really gravitating towards now, is that it tends to shine at people.
Yeah.
There are a lot of products out there that people love because they're easy, but they still shine at people. And it's been my experience through, and this is quite a bit of time it took me to realize this. You're just blinding people by doing that. It's uncomfortable. And sometimes people aren't even looking towards your booth, not because they don't like you. It's because their eyes hurt.
Blinding
them. It hurts to look at bright light. So if you're doing lighting around a dance floor area, it gives people something to look at because of the light reflecting off the walls without being painful to the eye. And it creates a crazy wash on the dance floor too. And it's not just a one-dimensional thing shooting from a trussing system over your head. It's all around them. So I don't know. I just like it. And it's working very well for me. It's easy to do. It's easy to control. And I think it's just an overall better effect for the type of events that I'm doing.
Sure.
So
excellent.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah. Well, and I really just wanted to kind of go through. Yeah, people are talking in the chat room about that similar thing where they're doing facade lighting is a spot they're doing that, but the room uplighting is an additional cost.
Yeah.
So
right, and you know what my agent does a lot when I do the agency jobs is they sell head table uplighting.
Oh, okay.
Which really is just, they don't even sell it; they throw it in. It's like, we'll give you free head table uplighting, and all it is 3 pars on a head table. But it's just a little something that you can give the client, I guess, that really ultimately doesn't cost much, and it's built into the price anyway, so it's not a big deal. And just 3 lights on a head table, if you can do it. Sometimes you're in an event where I like Howie does the sweetheart table thing a lot.
Yeah.
Or just a round table. You're not really doing that, but we're still doing the head table thing. The 1, 2, 3, 3, that's where the bride and groom are sitting. That's the focal point. It's a cool little thing you can just throw in there. Again, still putting it onto the price tag of the lighting, incorporating that into your quote, but the perception is free uplighting, and if they want more, they can get more.
Exactly, it's there as a oh, by the way, sure, we can do that.
Yeah,
there's a little
something we'll just do.
Excellent.
And kind of a gateway drug. If they want more, they want more.
You could get them going on that. So excellent.
Hey kid, you want to try some of this?
You got this really cool light fixture. It's going to make
you want more? I got more.
I got more.
This one's free, but they ain't free after that.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so that's pretty much our main part of the show tonight. So if you guys wanted to hear lighting, that was it, and that's going to be headed off to the side. So moving on, one of the big questions, and yeah, I know you've done some video on this a little bit. I wanted to dive into that, where you were talking about this whole scare with the COVID-19 stuff going on and such, and how that's going to affect us as DJs. And I wanted to get your thoughts now as we're a little farther along in that process and more people are reacting, businesses are reacting and events are reacting. How do you think this is going to affect our industry?
I don't know. Did you hear that they postponed Coachella today?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah,
but
they're bumping it to October.
Moving everything to the fall.
Coachella is supposed to be in May. I mean, I know people who were planning to be vendors there in May, and now everything's off. I mean, their business plan was to go to Coachella and be vendors. That was their big plan for the year. And now they're bumped back to October.
Even Pro Light and Sound.
Tentatively bumped back to October.
Yeah, tentatively, I suppose, because there could be things that change.
Something else could happen.
Yeah.
We don't know.
But even I was kind of surprised that Pro Light and Sound. What's in Germany?
Pro Light and Sound.
Pro Light and Sound. They had moved things about 6 weeks. I think it was, wasn't it? 4 to 6 weeks.
It's to May.
Yeah,
it's to May. But at this point, what connection do I have with Pro Light and Sound these days? I did see that FBT said that, look, it's not going to work for us doing it in May. So we're not going to be attending this year. We'll see next year, kind of thing.
And that's what I was kind of wondering is that, right away we saw Elation and American DJ both say, hey, we're going to be there. But how many of these companies are, first off, I was kind of surprised they moved 6 weeks because, it might settle down and everything will be great in 6 weeks. But it's also, I could see them moving till October because you're hoping, 4 to 6 months will settle things down.
Yeah.
But as you look at, especially in FBT, they're in the midst of.
Well, yeah, they're in
being
Italy, so they got their own problems.
They're being shut down right now across the board. So the chance of
It's northern Italy. Their FBT is just, it's by Rome, so it's like central Italy. But
Okay.
yeah, it's the same crap. It's
yeah,
like
everything's shut down, and it's just an interesting time with how those types of things are going to affect. And you have some of these manufacturers that this is their opportunity or time when they're going to be releasing products, and how that's going to affect some of these businesses that want to be getting that information out there. So
yeah, it's a weird one, and I mean, I don't want to be an alarmist because it's not my style. I don't think we know what's really going to happen. Right now, I think that there's a lot of precautions being taken.
I think so. I think that's what you're seeing is that.
And what I mean by that is I think the precautions might help. If this is, we're trying to nip this, maybe these type of precautions, maybe they're overkill, but on the other hand, maybe they're necessary to slow this down.
And I was thinking at first that maybe some of these wouldn't be necessary because people would be intelligent or smart about it. But just in Minnesota here, we have had 4 people who have had contact with someone who is positive with the virus. They were in self-quarantine. In all 4 cases, they took family members or did something, and they went someplace. One of them went to a concert, and they were supposed to be, they were literally next to someone within a couple of feet of someone who has an active case of that going. And it's like,
right.
So it's like you got to take precautions because there's, to a point, there's people out there who are thinking, oh, I'm better than that. I don't need to, I'm feeling great. Yeah, you may, but you could still be a carrier and there could be issues. So I can start to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's all getting really weird right now. And I mean, I have a friend who I've known since I think I was 8 years old. He's a Facebook friend of mine. I don't talk to him much at all, but he is the guy who, he's part of the IT department at Harvard University. And today it was announced that Harvard is done for the year. Everybody's got to be off campus by Sunday. Everything's going to be online.
Goodness. Yeah.
Harvard is closing, dude.
Yeah.
Harvard's not supposed to be done until late May. And Harvard pulled the plug today.
On the rest of the, on campus.
That's
thing.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been thinking about this. I didn't know we were going to talk about this tonight, but now maybe the precautions are being taken, and it's a good thing, and it's really going to help prevent the spread. And then we're going to look at this in a month and a half and saying, God, why did they cancel all this stuff? Well, they did it to prevent the spread.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't spread, maybe they'll look at it like it was overreacting, or maybe it won't do anything and it'll spread. We don't know what's going to happen. But what I can tell you is that it sounds to me like municipalities and communities are discouraging large gatherings of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some communities now that I don't know how true this is. I'm just seeing crap on Facebook. They're limiting gatherings to 100 people. So if it's 100 people or less, you can do it. If it's like 200 people or whatever, somebody had said that one of their weddings got canceled because the municipality where it's going to be happening limited gatherings to 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
That got me thinking. I mean, maybe we shouldn't turn down these little jobs.
And somebody had mentioned, get back to the DJ stuff.
Yeah.
And Brian and I hadn't talked about this, but that was exactly where I was going with the.
Really? You think of the same thing?
The small person event. I was setting you up to get you there, because that is, and the idea that these smaller events, we may be picking up some of these smaller events because they might have had to cancel, they might have had to move things, and I think that that's going to be, as the very first show tonight with Jerry Bazzata tonight. We were talking about, how do you go through and how do you handle this and how do you work through it? Well, one of the areas that we may be seeing is that my ETX system that I sit over there that is, for my big street dances, I might not be doing that, but I might find myself.
Leave that thing, might be doing your Maui 5 goes.
Yeah, I might be doing the backyard parties and doing some of those this summer where they can, they may not have as many people coming in and not doing whatever, but having that flexibility and to a point, not maybe
Absolutely.
saying no immediately when they're like, oh, we've got a smaller budget. Well, let's
It's
talk.
okay.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah. And, you might be able to knock out 2 of these a day. I mean,
It's very possible. Yeah. As Ron
you know,
mentions in the chat room that, the smaller events can be excellent cash flow, especially either at slower times of the year or in situations like this where it's that or maybe nothing for a period of time.
right. What's the alternative? I mean, if you're doing big production events, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but if you're typically doing, and a lot of my weddings these days are 100 people or less. So they're getting smaller. People aren't in my area doing the 300-person wedding thing so much anymore. It happens, but not a lot. The smaller outdoor venues or even backyard parties, stuff at the park, maybe people will go that route instead of just canceling everything. Maybe they'll do something like that and be ready, have something ready to go for this. If you don't have battery powered speakers, maybe looking into a power source for the speakers you have might be wise.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not a huge investment, but having that flexibility could be a last minute event where someone's like, hey, you know what? We should do something.
I'm sorry, John. I interrupted you. I apologize.
Yeah, one of the interesting things is you look through history. Whenever there have been recessions or there have been hard times, unless it's been like the 1918 Spanish flu, where they basically just everyone stayed home. When the times were tough, people still wanted to have entertainment and do some things with that.
Yeah.
So it's not, they may just not do it as big, but they're probably still going to have a demand, especially as the virus thing settled down and people are feeling better about that, which summertime typically happens anyway because of the nature of the beast. So the moral of this story was we talked about portable uplighting would be a good fit for that.
It would be a very good fit for
the
that.
smaller sound system. It all can come together and be a potential revenue source during these unstable times.
I'm really liking the idea of outdoor events too. Normally, I don't like them because of just unpredictable weather conditions. But in this particular case, I think I feel safer outdoors.
I think that's a real situation with that is because there's air moving.
Yeah, the air's moving around above you and they're all over the place. Yeah. So and as DJs, I mean, typically most of the time people aren't right in your face. And I think they're going to be less in your face now. So you're going to be kind of behind a booth and people are going to be, well within 10 feet away from you at least, dancing and things.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So I'm not going to freak out about gigging because I know that if anything, I've got more space than the average person at the event has.
Yeah, for sure.
But on the other hand, like I said, I mean, this stuff is happening real time here, but I'm just thinking to myself, maybe these smaller events would be the thing to look at and the thing to actually market towards and let people know that you have these capabilities and you're going to do it. It's that or nothing, maybe, I mean, and this might just go away and this might be a moot point, but to be ready would be smart.
Kirk in the chat room here mentions that, of course, your business model should have that flexibility to be able to handle a variety of different things. I think that's one of those things we always want to have, and we want to that there's times where we get fixated on, I got to have this big light show, and this is my light show, and it has to look like this every time I'm out, and this is my sound system, and I've got to have this incredible sound system, and it has to sound like this each time I go out.
Yeah.
And there's times where that stuff, well, yeah, it would be nice, but maybe I don't need that 3-hour setup, and I don't need to haul all that gear because we just have this little thing, and I could save some time and back and money by not having it all out there and going a different direction for them.
Well, Kirk, on one hand, I mean, yeah, it's nice if you can do that, but a lot of DJs aren't trying to be everything to everybody. I think a lot of DJs are trying to specialize. I especially know, some DJs in particular, they're doing large events like quinceañeras. So they're running soundboards for mariachi bands and they're playing for up to 1,000 people. So they're focused more on large events. They're not really thinking about little events. Maybe, but there is that. It's great if you can be everything to everybody, but I don't think everybody has that liberty, or not everybody has taken that liberty. They've gone the production route.
Certainly.
So, for us to be able to facilitate the smaller events, I think is wise. And let's see, Robin said park events would be cool. Yeah, in fact, that's what I had envisioned in my head, Robin, when I was talking about these alternate events. And I don't know if that's going to pop up or not, but it was something I was thinking about, where if we have to cancel the 175 person wedding and the venue is not facilitating these kind of things anymore, maybe we can do the park with 50 people and be ready for that. That's just kind of where my brain is on it. I've got a lot of stuff booked this year, and I don't know where it's going to go. There's been nothing that's canceled so far, but if something does, or it's got to be ready for an alternate plan.
Yeah, I think that's
safe for everyone.
Yeah, I think that flexibility is going to be a big part of how things are as we go forward. So, well, great, Brian. I think we're going to wrap things up here. We've gotten about 45 minutes for tonight, and we can let folks go. Thank you guys for being with us this evening. A lot of folks out there on Facebook and YouTube talking about different things. Appreciate you being with us once again. Tomorrow night, we've got 2 more shows coming up tomorrow night on Wednesday night, and we'll be wrapping things up for the week. We'll be on at 8 o'clock and I believe 10 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night, coming in and talking about... I don't remember exactly what our topics are for tomorrow night now that I think about it. So we'll you guys get that tomorrow. So Brian, thank you much, and thank you guys, and we'll catch you next week.